little bit here. We all go about finding things in different ways, and I guess one of the most valuable things I find about talking to different people is partly what they think are interesting stocks, but partly how they go about looking up information and finding stuff and what they're looking for in kind of stocks. So, yeah, tell us a bit about your kind of research progress. You said it's sort of top-down-ish, macro-driven. What sorts of things do you look for and look at?
Well, yeah. So I guess there's multiple ways to. If I'm purely if I'm purely searching for stocks, I will probably start just by going on Seeking Alpha, for example. If it says this is obviously much more efficient for US stocks, and quite frankly, I've never found something that works quite as well in the UK. But it allows you to search by different metrics. So price to earnings to growth ratio is a pretty easy one to kind of kick things off, and you can set your parameters. And traditionally, a stock with a PEG ratio under 1 was deemed undervalued. It doesn't quite work in that way these days. I think you have to compare it against long-term averages and sector averages. But I will start with just scrolling through a really, really long list of stocks where the PEG ratio falls within the parameters, which is I normally set quite low because that's kind of gives you a margin of safety, doesn't it? If you're looking at stocks with price earnings to growth ratios over under 0.8, then in theory the PEG ratio from the start is suggesting they're undervalued significantly versus your typical traditional average, and that would be a great place for me to start. Of course, I think it's I know we're going to come on to Pinterest soon. PEG ratios can be distorted, and any ratio can be distorted. So there's I can sit there for hours just looking through stocks and stocks and stocks. When I find one that genuinely the data is not distorted and there's a potential real reason for them being, or for them to be considered, then I'll throw them into a watch list. And then, behind all that, there's macroeconomic considerations.